welcome to another episode of Sol y Punto. We are up here in the mountain and it is a beautiful, beautiful afternoon. It's cold if you're not sitting in the sun, and I thought I could just sit right here. We will move to show you more things so that there's better lighting, but I thought I could start the video here. I'm here with Oso. You can see him a little bit. And yeah, so this is episode 32 of our podcast. So thanks for coming back if this is a returning viewer situation. And welcome if this is your first time. My name is Nicole and I am a knitter and natural dyer and herbalist and natural adventurer, I don't know, here in the south of Spain, in Granada. And my family lives in New York. I was born in New York, I grew up there, and now I live here in this beautiful place. I'm going to show you my view right now because it's gorgeous. So yeah, in this little podcast, we talk about natural dyeing, we talk about knitting, I show you all of my wonderful knits. This is a knit that I'm so excited about. We're going to talk all about this one. It's hard to see right now with the sun behind us, but I will show you. And we've got lots of things to talk about today. Always at the end of my episodes, I like to talk about a plant or an herb. And today I would like to talk about cinnamon. So if you're interested in hearing about the herbal plant stuff, just stick around to the end. And if not, then you can just leave at the end. But I think it's always interesting. It's only a few minutes when I highlight an herb or a plant for natural dyeing or something. And yes, so more things. This is a bilingual podcast, so if you're interested in watching the Spanish version, you can go check out the Spanish version. And if you are a Spanish speaker and you're practicing English, I'm so happy, good for you. And it's cool that you're watching this video in English. I'm an English teacher, so if anyone is interested in practicing English with me in online classes, let me know. Don't be shy. Send me a message and we can make that happen. And hopefully we will organize some more like online knit nights in English. I spend a lot of time on the computer for my classes and I often don't want to do more time online. I would love to start a group knitting class, English meetup group here in Granada, so maybe that will happen. But yeah, okay, so let's get into the knitting. Hello! Hi, Osa's here. So we are here traveling in time. We have gone to the future now. We were just in midwinter. And now we are in mid-March and it is almost spring. Spring is in the air. All of the plants are blossoming and blooming. You can hear the birds. It's gorgeous. And actually now we need to be in the shade of an olive tree because it's very hot in the sun. So I just wanted to come and show you my finished Save the Sheep shawl and just kind of give an intro to the other segments, which we will travel back in time to some of the Christmas gifts that I sent out. But I really wanted to share them because I think that the projects are really cool and I would like you to know about them, and that's why I filmed them. So I gotta put it out there. Even if everyone is now getting ready to knit those summer tops and knit that bathing suit for the beach or whatever, I just wanted to come and show you my stuff because knitting is always relevant. And if we want to knit a sweater, we might have to start in spring to be able to wear it in autumn, because I don't know about y'all, but I am a slow knitter, right? Also, Okay, so let's start with the shawl Mare Nostrum. This is a design by Antonio of Beagle Knits, and it is a glorious, gorgeous shawl that was the design. Look at how long it is. It's massive. It is the design for our Advent. Sorry, you can hear the Alhambra. They're giving messages. I don't know. This is the yarn that came with our Advent calendar for Save the Sheep. If you don't know about Save the Sheep, I highly recommend you look into our Instagram or some previous videos where we talk about our beautiful project of giving visibility to endangered species of sheep, endangered breeds of sheep. And this breed is from a beautiful sheep, the red sheep from Mallorca, which is an island here in Spain in the Mediterranean. And the wool, the natural wool color is this beige, but it's very beautiful. And if you look at it up close, you can see little specks of the red fur. These beautiful red sheep are born red, but then their fleece turns white, but you can still see a little hint of the red. And we wanted to highlight this yarn because it's not like other yarn, which is much whiter. It has a lot of character in it. So we wanted to use the white yarn and then the naturally dyed yarn. So this was my color. Everyone got a different color because in the Advent, so that I don't get bored, we dye lots of colors because I think that's more fun. And this was the color that I kept. And it is dyed with madder root and some pomegranate skins to get this beautiful color, which reminded me of the sheep. So I wanted to use that. And the pattern is fabulous. As always, Antonio of Beagle Knits is surprising and delighting us. This shawl has so much inspiration. This segment here is inspired in the traditional shearing methods, the way that they shear the sheep, the traditional shearing methods of that island. And actually we found that people in Portugal also use this method. So if you've ever seen pictures, I'll put one up here. It's really cool the way that they shear it by hand, the sheep, and they make beauty in that act, and they give them a beautiful haircut. And then here, this represents the network of families that are taking care of the sheep, because there are only 60 families in the world who have this flock of sheep, and there are very few of them, and they're working really hard to maintain this really special, beautiful breed. And then here we have some short rows to represent the flowing tides of the Mediterranean Sea going back and forth. And then here we are in the deep ocean. This is a border for, not the deep ocean, the deep sea. Not deep ocean too. For me, this was eternal doing this part. And I wanted to finish it for Madrid Yarn Festival, which in the end I didn't end up going. I did finish, but I didn't go to the festival. But that was quite, you have to be aware that that's a lot of stitches. It's gonna take some time to do that border, but are we really in a rush? We're not in a rush. So that is the shawl. I think it's gorgeous. Be careful with the olive branches here. It's not really reversible. I mean, it's not terrible on the back, but I think it's so cool. So cool. There's so many different ways to wear it. So that is the shawl, and Antonio decided to name this shawl Mare Nostrum, which is like the Latin way to talk about the Mediterranean Sea, because it is a sea shared by many countries, no? So that is that. What else do I have to show you? What I have with me here that I brought up, I brought the yarn from our next Save the Sheep Mystery Cal. And this is a beautiful yarn from Italy that is the Brogna sheep, and it is mixed with hemp. Did you know that you could use hemp for fiber? I'm sure you did. If you're here, you probably know those things, but I'll tell you anyway. And so this yarn comes from a dear friend that we know in a beautiful place in Italy called Lessigna. And this wool, it's a very fine fine weight. It is like a lace weight, a fine fingering. So 600 meters for 100 grams. This year is only 50 grams, but the kit came with 2. And now we are just about to start the mystery knit along that goes with this edition of Save the Sheep. If you're interested in Save the Sheep, not shave the sheep, but we should shave them too. If you're interested in Save the Sheep, you can follow us on Instagram and be ready for the next edition, which will be coming out probably in May. So get over there and you can join us because it's really fun. We do like knit along, knit nights. We have a Telegram group. And a really fun thing about this edition is that we dyed everything with indigo, and then we overdyed some of the indigo. So this one was overdyed with eucalyptus. The color is really not showing up here, but it's a beautiful like seafoam green. So I overdyed the indigo with eucalyptus and chamomile. Oh, people are looking at us. I always feel so silly, but whatever. Oh, there's more walkers, but we're here to share. And if people laugh at me, how many episodes have we done, and how many times have I been interrupted by people like saying like, "Hey, what are you filming? What are you doing?" Kids yelling. Anyway, so we are just about to start the knit along. Antonio has a beautiful shawl pattern that will be coming out alongside of the edition, and we're all gonna knit the beautiful shawl, and it's gonna be like a nice lightweight shawl for the spring summer. And you can actually get this yarn not from us because we sold out all of our kits, but I will put information down below. Lana Sal Pascolo has this yarn, so you can buy directly from the mama of the sheep, Christina. We actually have an interview on this channel in English, so you can hear from her and hear their story. But yes, so very beautiful. And the interesting thing about this edition is that when we dye the yarn, we always keep them like together in families, we call them. So imagine if we dye 6 skeins together. Actually, this edition, they were in families of 4 skeins, so like really 2 kits. And what I did when I was labeling them is I gave each family a specific name, like the name of your colorway is only shared with one other person. So you can maybe find, because we have a Telegram group, maybe you can find, hold on, look at this. There is some wool on the olive tree because it smells like sheep, because there's often sheep up here. Oh, that's so special. Anyway, maybe you can find your knitting cousin, like the other person who has the same exact colorway as you. This one is called Veriditas. I went very creative with all the names, lots of names in Italian, in Spanish, and English, but this is Veriditas, which is like life force. I don't know if you know who Hildegard is, but she was a very, very old, like from olden times, herbalist, and she has a phrase which is Veriditas. And it is like the life force, the green life force that comes up in springtime or just in our lives. So Veriditas. And I know who has the other 2 skeins that were in my family of the dye bath. Okay. So beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. I hope it's beautiful where you are. I hope you are knitting. I hope you have lots of fun projects on the needles. I have on the needles in my little kit, which I bring with me everywhere. This is a project bag that a beautiful friend, Teresa from Coruña, hand embroidered and sent to me because she's amazing. And I have some socks. So I'm just knitting some socks. I finished another pair of socks. I'm not wearing them, but I have been wearing them a lot. I finished another pair, and you know what happened? The day I finished them, I almost set my house on fire. I bound off, and I got so excited because I was going to meet like Antonio for something. I don't know. I was like going to run out, and I had a lot of stuff on my mind. Or we were going to do like a live or something. I don't know what we're going to do. And I like threw the sock on my desk where I had a candle burning, and I burnt the tip of the sock, but it was fine because one, I didn't burn the house down. I don't know how. Wool, I guess, but this is sock yarn, so it has some nylon. Aren't they cute? So there was a burn mark here, but you know what I did? I picked up the stitches, I decreased, and I bound off with Kitchener stitch, and that's it. So sometimes bad things happen, but most of the time there's a solution. And now I have a new pair of socks. I also finished a pair of socks for my mama. I sent them to her. And now I've just got these on the needles. I've got so many like little balls of yarn from like advents, from different things. So I'm just gonna make some colorful socks. The other sock might be different colors. I don't know. I'm gonna have fun with it because they're on my feet and I don't care. But right now I'm loving this combination. I think it's really sweet. And I was just doing some slip stitches when I changed the color, and I like the texture it's making. So that's it. I think I need to try with a different heel. I typically knit a German short row, but I'm not really a big fan of that. I mean, I'm a fan of how easy it is to knit, but I think that there might be a better fit. Like the socks I made for my mom had the heel flap and gusset, and I think that might be a better fit, but I haven't mastered that to be able to just do it on the fly like I can with my other one. But I know that Marta, I don't know if you watch the podcast of Marta Gredo Knits, and she is doing like a year of socks. I'm always doing a year of socks, but I normally knit like two pairs of socks a year. But that's more than 0. So, and I wear them a lot, and I don't wash them that often because it's wool. No? Don't tell anyone. Okay. All right, so now, are you ready? We are going to fly back in time. We're going to go all the way back to December of 2023, last year. Oh my gosh. All right. Thanks for being here, as always. Ciao. Hello. I am here today with my Chal Sukha, which is finished. I'm so excited about it. This has been a long journey. I have been knitting this shawl for ages. It is a very, very simple knit. My friend Jacobo knit this in about a week, but I had it as my simple, easy knit that came with me on all of my adventures when I was going to be with friends, and I didn't want to have to think about any lace patterns or anything difficult. I had my Sukha with me. And this is absolutely gorgeous. It is light as a feather and soft as a pussycat's tail, as my grandmother would say. And I love it. I chose to do 11 holes and then stop. It has an I-cord bind off. It's fluffy. It's made with Hypericum dyed mohair, which is fluffy and beautiful. And some beautiful blue yarn from Koloska wool, and it is called descielo, which means the melting of the ice of the rivers, to the melting of the mountain ice that flows through the rivers, which I think is beautiful. So this shawl, it is super easy. There's a pattern recipe if you're interested. You can find it on Ravelry or Ko-Fi, and this is going to be sent to a very special person, an herbalist teacher of mine, and I'm so excited to send it out to her. I'm just wearing it to like give it a little bit of my energy, but I will block it. It has not been blocked, but it has been worn a bunch, but that's okay. I needed to give it my energy. But it's so warm and so fuzzy and so beautiful. I kind of don't want to give it up, but it had her name on it from the beginning, so that's where it's going. So, Chal Sukha, finished! Will I knit one for myself? Hopefully, one day. I still have a lot of the mohair left. I think I used about 600 meters of mohair and about 600 meters of fingering weight. I used the 2 weights because I love the combination of brioche. It's brioche. With a very fine yarn and then a thicker yarn. I think it's really interesting. So one day. I have more. So I have more of the mohair and I have more of the blue. So maybe I can knit myself one. It might be a little bit smaller, but this one's very big. And when I block it, it's going to get bigger. And it's reversible because it's brioche. So we love it. And I hope that you knit a Chal Sukha. If you do, let me know. Sukha is like the yoga pose, which is the easy pose. And this knit is an easy knit. If you know how to do brioche, go for it. If you don't know how to do brioche, go for it. There's videos in the pattern that you can look at, and it will show you how to do. It will show you how to do these like increases, which are really simple once you get the hang of it. And brioche is pretty easy, and it's really the only thing I ever want to knit. So I recommend it. Okay, next thing. Mira, aquí qué guapo. Ay, qué guapo. Un besito. Uy, you need some elderberry. Just kidding. He sneezes to get your attention. Are we going to go for a walk now? We're going to keep going? Where do you want to go? Okay. Ciao. I'm here to show you the finished vest. Oh, so you want to come show? You want to see it? Oh my God. It's so beautiful. Dad, is it gonna fit you? So this was made for my father, and it's the softest thing ever, and it's made with so many really special wools. So this is, I think I have the information here. It's called vest number 2 by a designer called My Favorite Things. You can find them. Just look up vest number 2. You will find it. It is an oversized slipover inspired by menswear. So this is like a vest really for women. So I just made the largest size, and I made it quite long, and I hope that it can give. And I hope that my father doesn't eat too many Christmas sweets so that this fits him, because it's very special and I think he's going to love it. Right, Oso? Do you think he's going to love it? Oso agrees. So again, vest number 2. Super interesting. So it's top down. You start in the back and you do like some short rows kind of here. And then you knit the front pieces. You knit this side, and then you pick up in the round and go around, and then you pick up stitches for the neck hole, and I love this detail here. And then you pick up along the sleeves. Maybe it bunches a little bit because I picked up, it's fine, and don't look at that, it's fine. And then the bottom, I did a twisted rib because I think twisted rib always looks nicer when I knit it. And yeah, so it was really cool because Antonio said, "Wow, Nicole, your like stripes are so perfect." Right? Also thinks they're perfect too. But it was perfect because when I was knitting it, like every 4 stitches you had to do an increase. And so it just worked with doing 4 stitches of one color, 4 rows of one color, and then an increase, 4 rows, an increase, 4 rows, an increase. And I did like the last row as mosaic. So I just did 1 by 1 by 1 by 1, like I slipped one so that like it blended in this beautiful way. I know, it's gorgeous. I'm so proud of it. So the yarns. Okay, so this beautiful brown here is from Flavia, the alpaca in Alpacas del Camino. This is, I think, this is the only yarn that I actually purchased from Alpacas del Camino in Madrid Yarn Festival last year. And if you don't know Alpacas del Camino, I highly recommend looking into them because Arsenio is amazing. He's the alpaca shepherd who takes care of all the alpacas, and this yarn specifically comes from Flavia, who's one of the female alpacas there on the farm, and it's gorgeous. So we have Flavia here. Then below it we have another, this white yarn is also from Alpacas del Camino, but it's from their collection of the Sincronistas, And this one is called Hiraeth, which in Gaelic, I believe, means like the warmth of the home. So I thought that was really special. And this has Ryland sheep. And Ryan is my brother, so Ryland sheep, that sounds lovely. Then here we have this fuzzy, delicious, soft yarn, which is along the borders because it was the softest of all of them. And that is possum and merino, all the way from Australia, from my lovely Erika. And so that's super soft. This is from a brand called 3 Trees, and it's gorgeous. Then below it we have a hand spun from Erica, which has black alpaca and Jacob sheep, and just like, it's so beautiful. And that was hand spun by Erica. Thank you, Erica. I needed to put it into something special like this for my daddy, so it's very special. So there's the hand spun, and then the hand spun kind of blends into this other one, which is the brown there, and that is also a hand spun from Afghanistan, but it comes to me from Irish Fibre Crafts in Ireland through Susan of the Wild Cottage Knitting podcast. I always mess it up, Susan, I'm sorry. The Irish Knitting Wild Cottage. I'll put it down below. She's wonderful, and she sent me this cashmere, which was hand spun in Afghanistan because she knew that my dad wanted a cashmere sweater. So it's not totally cashmere, Dad, but it's got everything. It's got cashmere, alpaca, possum. What more could you ask for? Then here we have this white yarn, which comes from Rosario's Quadro, which is a Portuguese brand, and it is Portuguese wool. And this wool is their base called Romaria, which is like pilgrimage or Romeria. And that is the yarn that was gifted to us cami knitters to walk across the north of Spain and then naturally dye. But I had one extra white skein, which went into this beautiful piece. And I think that's all of it. So those are the yarns. This is the sweater. I hope it fits my dad. We will see. Should I try it on? Should we wear it? Let's see how it is. I don't think I've tried it on after I blocked it. I blocked it quite aggressively. And then my friends laughed at me. Okay, it's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna fit. Wool stretches. This is gonna be great. Look, there's lots of room here. It's gonna be good. I hope you love it, Dad. When I first knit it, my friends laughed at me. They're like, your dad's never gonna fit into that. It doesn't even fit our skinny friend. But wool grows. But they convinced me to, I ended up like cutting off the bottom because it was shorter. And I figured if it stretches this way, then it's going to go up. So what I did, I could not undo the possum. Wasn't having it. I couldn't unravel it. So I had to cut off the possum and then pick up stitches, probably back up here, and then knit down some more. So I added about this much in length so that it was long enough, so that if it stretched this way, it would be long enough that way. So this has survived some surgery. We love it. Oh, so here's a dog. Okay, tomorrow it's traveling to New York, so let's just hope that it's traveling to the United States, not to New York. But let's just hope that it survives the journey. Okay, see you soon. Hello, my dear friends. We are here in the park of Garcia Lorca. I'm with Oso. You may hear the fountain behind me, the traffic going by, the dog park full of dogs barking. But I just wanted to tell you a little bit about our plant of the day, or of the podcast, of the episode. Although I'm sitting under a beautiful pine tree, which is looking at me. And it's like, when are you going to talk about pine? But no, today we're going to talk about cinnamon. So cinnamon, or what we refer to as cinnamon, is the inner bark of trees belonging to the genus of the cinnamon. For Spanish speakers, the word cinnamon in English is very difficult to say.
but the genus name cinnamomum, and there are two types of cinnamon that we tend to think about, which is the Ceylon cinnamon, which is Cinnamomum verum, which means like the true cinnamon, which is native to Sri Lanka, formerly known as Ceylon, no? And this cinnamon is what I have been drinking for like the past month or so. I have been buying like the sticks of cinnamon in my herb shop and making infusion out of them, and it is so delicious. Like, I can't get enough of it. It's so good. I don't know if you've ever tried an infusion with like the bark of a cinnamon. I mean, it sounds so common, but I think maybe I had tried cassia cinnamon, which is the other kind of cinnamon, which is a bit stronger, slightly more bitter, much more intense flavor than the Ceylon cinnamon, which is like it's like a little bit sweet. It's very delicate flavor. It's so nice. I highly recommend. It's good hot. It's good cold. It's good mixed with other things. Like, I am just enjoying it. In order to make the infusion, what I do is I just heat up some water, get it to like almost boiling, and then I put in some sticks, not even just pieces of the bark. I put it in there and I let it simmer for a little bit, just a little bit, not always, but I simmer it for a little bit, and then I turn off the heat and I let it sit there. Obviously I'll drink a cup then, but I normally make a big pot of it, and so I could drink it all day. And then when it gets cold, like the color gets darker and the flavor's a little bit stronger. But again, the flavor is like very subtle. It's so lovely. If you can get your hands on some Ceylon cinnamon, highly recommend. And yeah, cinnamon, or canela in Spanish, is like such a beautiful warming herb, you know. I have this like herbal tarot book, and it relates the herbs to different cards of the tarot, and cinnamon is the king of wands, so it's like the fiery aspect of fire. And this like taking this herb, or even just having it with you, like really helps to like warm your body, like to warm your creative energy also. And it is like in your body, it stimulates metabolism, circulation. It is a tonic. It's a little bit diuretic. Again, diuretics in plants are not just going to make you lose all of your water and be dehydrated. No, diuretics in plants normally help you regulate. Like maybe if you have excess water, you will get rid of it, but it's never going to like dehydrate you. According to my understanding, or from what I have learned of my herbal intake. It's analgesic, so it's like pain relieving. It increases your, like, more on a spiritual level, like it increases your drive and focus. It's just amazing, and help you to build your internal fire. So I highly recommend checking out some cinnamon if you can get some. I mean, there's so many recipes you can do with cinnamon. I don't know, but I just like drinking it in infusion. It's the drink that I have really been obsessed with recently. I just can't get enough of it. It's so like thirst quenching. I don't know, something about it. It's really good. And I wanted to recommend 2 audio podcasts which talk a lot about the history of the cinnamon, and just like really fun, interesting facts about cinnamon. If you're interested, you can check out in English Susan Weed. You know I love Susan Weed, SUSUNWEED, Susan Weed. And you can look it up on Google and type in healthylife.net. And she has like a podcast there where she has been talking about trees for the past year. I know that they go like deleting the episodes after a few months, like only the most recent episodes are up there, but I think cinnamon could still be up there. I have it downloaded, so if anyone wants to hear it, I can send it your way. Just send me a message if it's not on the web anymore. And if you speak Spanish, the Senda de las Plantas Perdidas is a beautiful podcast that you can listen to anywhere. Look it up, Senda de las Plantas Perdidas. And then you can type in cinnamon and find that episode. She is fantastic. She's so informative and it's beautiful. So I highly recommend it. All right? And that's it for today. I hope you're all well. I hope you have a beautiful drink with you and enjoy your knitting or whatever you are doing. And we'll talk soon. Ciao, ciao.